There I stood, ankle-deep in electric blue mystery liquid, holding a half-taken-apart camping toilet, while my neighbor Patricia screamed across the cul-de-sac like a banshee in pearls. Behind her, a plumber gagging into the hydrangeas, and 3 city inspectors trying to decode a nightmare. Welcome to Pine Ridge Estates.
I stood ankle-deep in a puddle of suspiciously blue liquid, holding a half-disassembled portable camping toilet, while my nosy neighbor, Patricia Holbrook, screamed from across the cul-de-sac with a shrill voice that could shatter glass. "You're contaminating the HOA water table!" Behind her, an emergency plumber gagged into a bush. 3 city inspectors were pointing at the plans for her property. One mouthed the words, "What the hell is this?" And on the driveway sat the crown jewel of suburban passive aggression, my neatly laminated spreadsheet titled, "How Patricia's Septic Tank is Literally Illegal." 2 months earlier, I had moved into Pine Ridge Estates, a sleepy coastal HOA neighborhood near Monterey. My name is David Morrison, a 47-year-old freelance cartographer who liked long hikes, quiet evenings, and using my solar-powered camp toilet in the garage while renovating my bathroom. The portable toilet was a practical solution during the 3-week renovation project, completely self-contained and environmentally friendly. Enter Patricia Holbrook, HOA president, dental hygienist, and the unofficial bladder police of Pine Ridge. She had the uncanny ability to spot any minor infraction from 3 blocks away. Patricia spotted my portable throne while spying from her azalea bush one Tuesday morning. Within 36 hours, I received a written notice titled Unapproved Sanitary Device, Class B Violation. The letter stated in bold letters that all waste disposal systems must be permanently plumbed and connected to the municipal sewer system.
Composting toilet on the Pine Ridge Facebook group with the caption, "This is not the camping we meant when we said rustic charm." The photo garnered over 200 reactions, mostly laugh emojis from neighbors who knew Patricia's reputation for overreaction. Several people commented that they'd used similar toilets during their own renovations. Frustrated by her relentless harassment, I did what any quiet cartographer with a drone license and a grudge would do: research. I spent hours pulling public zoning maps, property permits, and aerial images from the county database. My professional skills in mapping and land surveying finally came in handy for something personal. That's when I noticed something didn't add up. Patricia's lot, it turned out, had no record of a permitted sewer connection dating back to when she purchased the property 15 years ago. The mystery deepened when I cross-referenced utility records with property assessments. Every other house on our street showed proper sewer hookups installed in 1992 when the neighborhood was developed. Patricia's property showed nothing. No permits, no inspections, no connection fees paid to the city. It was as if her waste management system existed in some kind of bureaucratic blind spot. Then came the smell that changed everything. After a particularly rainy night in late March, a foul swamp emerged behind Patricia's prized hydrangea bed. The stench was unmistakable, a combination of raw sewage and whatever chemical she'd been using to mask it. Her backyard looked like a crime scene from an environmental disaster movie. Brown liquid seeped through her perfectly manicured lawn, creating dead patches in the grass. I called the city health department with genuine concern for public safety. The city called the county environmental services. The county sent an inspector named Roger Petton, a nonsense man in his 60s who'd seen every possible code violation in his career. What he found in Patricia's backyard left even him speechless. The inspector discovered a buried makeshift septic tank constructed from 2 kiddie pools, Flex Seal, and what appeared to be a repurposed wine barrel. The contraption was connected to her house with PVC pipes held together with duct tape and prayers. Inspector Petton later told me he'd never seen anything quite like it in his 30-year career. It was like someone watched the YouTube tutorial on septic systems while drunk and decided to wing it, he said with a mixture of horror and amazement. The system had been slowly leaking into the groundwater for over a decade. Suddenly, Patricia wasn't calling HOA meetings anymore. She was receiving subpoenas from multiple government agencies. City officials taped off her entire yard with bright yellow caution tape. The health department posted a large sign declaring the property a biohazard zone. Neighbors started calling it Ground Zero and avoided walking their dogs past her house. The irony of the bladder police having the worst sewage situation in the neighborhood wasn't lost on anyone. The HOA board, formerly her clique of yes-men who rubber-stamp her every ridiculous rule, held an emergency vote. Without Patricia there to intimidate them, they suddenly found their spines. I was cleared of all violations and received a formal apology letter signed by 3 embarrassed board members. The letter acknowledged that portable camping toilets were perfectly legal during home renovations and apologized for any inconvenience caused by the overzealous enforcement actions. Patricia was temporarily suspended as HOA president pending what the board delicately called fecal litigation. The environmental cleanup alone was estimated at $75,000. The city fined her $30,000 for the illegal septic system. The county added another $20,000 for groundwater contamination. She faced potential criminal charges for endangering public health. When the final tally came in, Patricia was looking at over $100,000 in fines and cleanup costs, plus potential jail time of up to 2 years. The local news ran a segment titled #TankTruth, HOA President's Backyard Biohazard. A neighbor filmed her frantically hauling buckets of unidentified slush into her SUV as reporters asked if she had anything to say to the community. She responded by slamming her screen door so hard the Ring camera fell off and shattered on the concrete. The footage went viral with over 2 million views. Someone even made a remix with dramatic music. The investigation revealed even more disturbing details about Patricia's makeshift waste system. Inspector Pettin discovered that she had been adding industrial-strength drain cleaner to her wine barrel septic tank every week, creating a toxic cocktail that had killed all vegetation within a 20-foot radius of the burial site. The environmental scientists who tested the soil samples said the contamination levels were off the charts and comparable to illegal chemical dump sites he'd investigated. During the discovery phase, Patricia's lawyer tried to argue that she was simply following a traditional waste management system she'd learned from her grandmother. This defense fell apart when investigators found receipts from Home Depot showing she'd purchased the kiddie pools just 3 years ago, along with a book titled Guerrilla Septic Systems for the Modern Homesteader that she'd apparently misinterpreted as actual guidance rather than satire. The HOA board meeting, where they officially voted her out, was standing room only. Neighbors who hadn't attended a meeting in years showed up with popcorn. When the board president announced the vote to remove Patricia was unanimous, someone in the back actually started a slow clap. Patricia's former allies on the board distanced themselves so quickly you could practically hear the sonic boom. Janet Riverside, who used to second every motion Patricia made, stood up and delivered a 5-minute speech about the importance of proper waste management. The financial investigation uncovered that Patricia had been embezzling HOA funds to maintain her illegal septic system. She'd been approving fake invoices for landscaping improvements that were actually payments to a sketchy handyman named Kyle, who helped her maintain the wine barrel contraption. The forensic accountant found over $40,000 in fraudulent charges over the past 5 years. This added embezzlement and fraud charges to her growing list of legal problems. Her arrest made the evening news across 3 counties. The footage showed her being led away in handcuffs while shouting that this was all a conspiracy orchestrated by Big Toilet to force people into using municipal sewers. She claimed I was a secret agent for the plumbing industry, sent to infiltrate the neighborhood. The reporter could barely keep a straight face as Patricia ranted about the constitutional right to manage one's own waste while being placed in the police car. The environmental cleanup became a massive operation. Hazmat teams in full protective gear excavated her entire backyard. They found that the contamination had spread under 3 neighboring properties. The cleanup crew discovered that Patricia had dug illegal channels, directing the overflow toward the storm drains, which led directly to a protected wetland area. This brought federal environmental charges into play,
elevating her case from a local embarrassment to a federal crime. The judge at her preliminary hearing was not amused by her attempts to blame me for instigating a witch hunt. He pointed out that I had simply reported a legitimate health hazard that she had created and hidden for 15 years. When the prosecutor finished listing all the charges, including illegal waste disposal, groundwater contamination, filing false reports, embezzlement, fraud, and federal environmental violations, the judge set her bail at $250,000. Patricia's lawyer audibly gasped at the amount. The judge also ordered her to stay away from all HOA functions and forbade her from any involvement in neighborhood governance for life. As the bailiff read the final tally of potential sentences, totaling up to 12 years in federal prison and fines exceeding $500,000, Patricia's face went from red to white to green. She fainted right there in the courtroom, crashing into the defense table with a thud that echoed through the silent courtroom.